Hi, here we are going to understand the custom calendar in the Microsoft project. So, how to use a custom calendar and when to use a custom calendar. So, we are going to actually use a simple demo to understand the purpose of this custom calendar. So, let us get into the the small case study which we can try in Microsoft project. Okay, so here what we are going to do is, let's say we have a task to paint a wall in our home. Okay, so after some discussions with the painter, we understand that to paint a wall we actually need a 16 hours of work. Okay, and after painting the wall the next day, we actually need to clean the room as well. So we found that that also requires a 16 hours of work. So total 32 hours of work is required to complete this particular activity. Okay, so by system we know that one on a day, on a given day, one person can work for 8 hours. Okay, so we decided that to complete the 16 hours of work, that is to paint the wall, so we plan to assign two persons to work together, so that we expect that this work can be completed on a single day. Okay, and also cleaning the room takes another day, 16 hours. But let's see, this is the case. Okay, so here the constraint is the two painters are saying that they can work only for 4 hours per day to complete this painting. Okay, and they are giving some reasons that you need to give some time to dry up. So we agreed over that. So there is a constraint, like these people will work for 4 hours per day, okay, to paint this wall. And for the next task, for cleaning the room, okay, they can work together on the same day and they can complete this task. So for cleaning the room they need just one day, but for painting the wall they work only for 4 hours, so they actually take 2 days by this logic. Okay, so this is the some case study. Okay, let's see how we can actually implement this in Microsoft project. Okay, now we will go by step to understand how to use this custom calendar, actually when this custom calendar is getting used in Microsoft project. Okay, let's say let's try it out the step one. So I'm going to the Microsoft project, blank one. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a task to paint the wall, and I'm going to set one day as a duration, because initially I felt 16 hours of work. I know that two-person is going to work, so I know that it is going to be one day. Okay, so just go to that, and before that, by default, if you see, Microsoft project actually uses only 8 hours per day. That is the complete, it's 8 hours per day is the actual hours of work by one person. Okay, now just create the task. And it's one day. And the painting actually starts by Monday. Okay, so let's actually assign a start date, and also I'm going to say that it's auto schedule, and I see that it's already Monday, so I'm just selecting Monday. It's a one day task. I can complete the 16 hours of work in one single day by assigning two people, so that is a plan. So I'm going to create another task to clean the room, and for with 16 hours of work. So set this as a successor to this paint the wall. So after painting the wall, this second task has to be completed. So this is also one day. and I'm going to set it as auto schedule, and it is going to be the start to finish. So after this particular task it has to immediately start. So I'm saying that the predecessor, that is, the previous task is the first task. Okay, so if you see successor, so it actually automatically updated that after the paint the wall, the second task should be clean the room. Okay, so both are auto. So on the first day it takes 16 hours of work, and second day it takes 16 hours of work. So that is what I'm expecting once I assign the two people. So we have completed the step 1, and in step 2, since we know that the task is this paint the wall, the first task, okay, 16 hours of work, it's a fixed work. So I'm going to set this as a fixed work. Similarly, this is also, I know that it's a fixed work because it requires only 16 hours of work. So I'm going to change the task to fixed work. So paint the wall, I'm going to say fixed work. I'm just selecting this one. I'm going to change that to fixed work. So both the tasks are now fixed work. Okay, now I'm going to add the two candidates to paint the two painters. Okay, so who is expected that they are going to work 8 hours. That is a 100% availability. Okay, if they work for 8 hours, that is 100% they are working. So I'm going to add that two people. Go to the resource sheet. Okay, now I have added the two people. So I'm going to assign these two people on this two tasks, paint the wall and clean the room. So I am expecting that 16 hours of work is given by these two people for each task. Okay, and this is what the expectation is. What I'm doing is I'm going to the Gantt chart, selecting the first task, and I'm going to assign the two candidates. I'm going to say OK, or I can just highlight. So now I can see that these two people are assigned to this task. If you see, I can add this work, so that I can see that 16 hours of work is available now for this particular task. So this is my expectation, 16 hours. I'm assigning two people to complete this task. Similarly, I know that 16 hours of work is needed to complete this task. So I'm going to assign these two people again, so that 16 hours of work will be available. I'm just highlighting 16 hours of work. Okay, so on the same day they are working. So on Monday they complete this paint the wall, and on the Tuesday they complete the second task. But now comes the question that to complete this particular task, these two candidates, two painters, they said they should actually work for only for 4 hours, so that they have to leave that remaining 4 hours to dry up. Okay, it needs some time, so they are available 100%, but for this task they can work only for 4 hours on a single day. Okay, so this is a constraint. Let's see how we can handle that, and that's where this custom calendar actually helps us to achieve this task, this issue. Okay, now just go ahead and create a custom calendar such that the Monday to Friday is actually only 4 hours of work. Okay, by default the standard calendar uses Monday to Friday with 8 hours work. Okay, and that is the reason why it's actually, when you assign this task, it says that okay, two people are available, each person can actually contribute 8 hours, so 16 hours of work is available. Okay, so now to change that, I don't want to change the existing standard calendar because it will affect the entire other task. So I'm going to create a project, change working time. I'm going to see, this is a standard project calendar. So now I'm going to use a new custom calendar which is going to say that only 4 hours of work. Okay, that is first off. Okay, I'm just naming it. I'm saying okay, and what I'm saying is this particular calendar, it's a new calendar, and I'm going to the worksheet. I'm just double click. I'm going to select Monday to Friday with the shift key, and I'm going to select the actual working time is going to be 8 to 12, and I'm not going to ask the painters to work for 1 to 5 as well. I'm going to select and I'm going to click delete. So the actual work is only 4 hours, 9, 10, 11, 12, only 4 hours. Okay, I'm going to say okay. I'm going to say okay. So now I have created a custom calendar. Okay, now the step 6 is for the task, the first task, paint the wall, set this custom calendar. Okay, now you will see the expected behavior. Let's see what exactly happens. Okay, now what is actually happening? Okay, let's see. I'm just double click the first task and I'm going to advanced. I'm saying that by default the calendar is none, so none, otherwise standard, are both the same, for this case. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the calendar which I have created first off, and I'm going to say okay. See, please note down the first task duration is 1 day, and it starts by Monday, ends by Monday. And second task is also 1 day, and it starts by Tuesday, ends by Tuesday. So when I'm using the calendar, the custom calendar which I created for this task, I'm going to hit OK. Now you see the difference. The duration still says 1 day. That means by system it actually finds that it's actually a 1 day work. But if you see the start and finish date, that's where you see the exact difference. Here it says that it looks like there's a two days of work, but actually system says that it's 1 day work. 1 day work means it actually finds that 1 day is actually 8 hours of work, but it actually finds that the person is working only for 4 hours for this particular day. So that is the intelligence Microsoft project is having. Okay, so now we have achieved what is actually expected. 16 hours of work, fixed work, is not changed, and the duration says 1 day, and now the system says that it's actually starts by Monday and it actually requires till Tuesday, because the person who is working can work only for 4 hours per day as per the calendar, even though they are available for 8 hours work. Since the task calendar is only 4 hours per day, it actually says that okay, you just go and work for 2 days, I will consider it as 1 day. Okay, so now you hope you understand what is exactly happened, and so we have achieved this particular expected result. But logically, if you see that okay, now we can also go and check the task usage, what else actually happened. Go to the task usage, and here you will see that okay, the first candidate for this paint the wall and first and second candidates actually works for 4 days, 4 hours. So for a day, since only 4 hours of work is given, so it considers the one day as a complete. So 2 days is considered as one duration. Okay, so this is the actual split up. For the first task, the same candidate worked for 4 hours, and the second task, the same candidate works for 4 hours and 4 hours. So here there is some issue. If you see, actually look at, since the second task, we expected that this 8 hours actually has to be completed on the Wednesday. But what has actually happened is, after completion of this work on the second day, we still have the remaining 4 hours on Tuesday. So Microsoft project is intelligent enough to use that particular hours. So it uses the 4 hours on the Tuesday, and the remaining 4 hours it actually put it on the Wednesday. Okay, so this is one thing. Maybe if you want, you can actually handle that particular issue. See, manually what you can do is, you can say that, okay, so only after if it is actually ending by Tuesday, it actually has to go for the next day. The next day it has to start. So, and I can use that, move the task to start on Wednesday, but keep the link. I can use this option and I can say okay, and that will solve the issue. But there is another way where you can actually handle this issue. Okay, for that what you can do is, we know that there is a 4.4 hours of work is actually, there is is actually available on the Tuesday. Okay, which should not be used by the second task, that is the clean the room, because we cannot clean the room on the same day. Once you complete on Tuesday, you just cannot start the work and clean the room. You have to wait for that particular day, complete day. That is the expectation in reality. So what we can do is, we can just create an inactive task. Okay, some inactive task. I'm just going to say inactive task. That means otherwise you can say no action. No action is required for this particular task. Okay, and I'm going to say auto, and I'm going to say it's going to be one day. Actually it is not one day. What we found is, it is actually 0.5 day. Is that right? So for 0.5 days, don't do anything. Okay, that is what we are expecting. And what we are saying is, the predecessor should be the paint the wall. I'm going to say 1. And for this particular task, now the predecessor is action, the second task. I'm going to say 2. So now if you see, we have actually solved this particular issue. Okay, so whenever if you let's say this paint the wall actually requires 32 hours of work. Okay, then you will see that it actually intelligently the clean the room actually uses the next day by itself. Let's say I'm going to say 32 hours. I'm going to hit tab. See, 32 hours, it says 2 days, which is fine because 2 people are going to work. Each can contribute 8 hours. So 32 hours is actually 2 days. But unfortunately, this particular task have a custom calendar which allows only 4 hours of work by one person. So it says that, okay, I need actually 4 days of work. That is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And because of this inaction task, okay, where there is no candidate or no one is actually assigned, but we have set the predecessor and successor here. Okay, we are saying that 0.5 days, don't do anything. Okay, so by this the way of actually adding some inactive tasks, we have actually made the Microsoft project to intelligent enough to calculate the next day. We don't need to manually change it to 9. It's very hard to track, if you have multiple tasks, and this is one way to actually handle this. So now hope you understand actually how to actually use this custom calendar, and when to use this custom calendar. Thanks for watching.